Magnify thou, O Lord my God, him who is the primal point, the divine mystery, the unseen essence, the dayspring of divinity, and the manifestation of thy lordship, through whom all the knowledge of the past and all the knowledge of the future were made plain, through whom the pearls of thy hidden wisdom were uncovered, and the mystery of thy treasured name disclosed, whom thou hast appointed as the announcer of the one through whose name the letter B and the letter E have been joined and united, through whom thy majesty, thy sovereignty, and thy might were made known, through whom thy words have been sent down, and thy laws set forth with clearness, and thy signs spread abroad, and thy word established, through whom the hearts of thy chosen ones were laid bare, and all that were in the heavens and all that were on the earth were gathered together, whom thou hast called Ali Muhammad in the kingdom of thy names, and the Spirit of spirits in the tablets of thine irrevocable decree, whom thou hast invested with thine own title, unto whose name all other names have, at thy bidding, and through the power of thy might, been made to return, and in whom thou hast caused all thine attributes and titles to attain their final consummation. To him also belong such names as lay hid within thy stainless tabernacles, in thine invisible world and thy sanctified cities. Magnify thou, moreover, such as have believed in him and in his signs, and have turned towards him, from among those that have acknowledged thy unity in his latter manifestation, a manifestation whereof he hath made mention in his tablets, and in his books, and in his scriptures, and in all the wondrous verses and gem-like utterances that have descended upon him. It is this same manifestation whose covenant thou hast bidden him establish ere he had established his own covenant. He it is whose praise the Bayan hath celebrated. In it his excellence hath been extolled, and his truth established, and his sovereignty proclaimed, and his cause perfected. Blessed is the man that hath turned unto him, and fulfilled the things he hath commanded. O thou who art the Lord of the worlds, and the desire of all them that have known thee. Praised be thou, O my God, inasmuch as thou hast aided us to recognize and love him. I, therefore, beseech thee, by him and by them who are the daysprings of thy divinity and the manifestations of thy lordship and the treasuries of thy revelation and the depositories of thine inspiration, to enable us to serve and obey him, and to empower us to become the helpers of his cause and the dispersers of his adversaries. Powerful art thou to do all that pleaseth thee. No God is there beside thee, the Almighty, the All-Glorious, the one whose help is sought by all men.
Glory be unto thee, O Lord my God. Nothing whatsoever escapeth thy knowledge, nor is there anything that could slip from thy grasp, or anything that could thwart thy purpose, whether in the heavens or on the earth, of the past or of the future. Thou seest paradise and the intimates thereof. Thou beholdest the realm below and the dwellers thereof. All are but thy servants, and are held within thy grasp. O Lord, render victorious thy forbearing servants in thy days, by granting them a befitting victory, inasmuch as they have sought martyrdom in thy path. Send down upon them that which will bring comfort to their minds, will rejoice their inner beings, will impart assurance to their hearts and tranquility to their bodies, and will enable their souls to ascend to the presence of God, the most exalted, and to attain the supreme paradise and such retreats of glory as thou hast destined for men of true knowledge and virtue. Verily thou knowest all things, while we are but thy servants, thy thralls, thy bondsmen, and thy poor ones. No Lord but thee do we invoke, O God our Lord, nor do we implore blessings or grace from anyone but thee, O thou who art the God of mercy unto this world and the next. We are but the embodiments of poverty, of nothingness, of helplessness, and of petition, while thy whole being betokeneth wealth, independence, glory, majesty, and boundless grace. Turn our recompense, O Lord, into that which will well beseemeth thee, of the good of this world and of the next, and of the manifold bounties which extend from on high down to the earth below. Verily thou art our Lord, and the Lord of all things. Into thy hands do we surrender ourselves, yearning for the things that pertain unto thee.
اللهم إنك أنت مفرج كل هم ومنقذ كل كرب ومذهب مفرج كل هم منقذ كل كرب ومذهب كل غم ومخلص كل عبد ومنقذ كل نفس خلصني اللهم برحمتك واجعلني من عبادك المنقذين خلصني اللهم برحمتك واجعلني من عبادك المنقذين اللهم إنك أنت مفرج كل هم
O Lord my God, and my haven in my distress, my shield and my shelter in my woes, my asylum and refuge in time of need, and in my loneliness, my companion. In my anguish, my solace, and in my solitude, a loving friend. The remover of the pangs of my sorrows, and the pardoner of my sins. Wholly unto thee do I turn, fervently imploring thee with all my heart, my mind, and my tongue, to shield me from all that runs counter to thy will, in this, the cycle of thy divine unity, and to cleanse me of all defilement that will hinder me from seeking, stainless and unsullied, the shade of the tree of thy grace. Have mercy, O Lord, on the feeble, make whole the sick, and quench the burning thirst. Gladden the bosom wherein the fire of thy love doth smolder, and set it aglow with the flame of thy celestial love and spirit. Robe the tabernacles of divine unity with the vesture of holiness, and set upon my head the crown of thy favor. Illumine my face with the radiance of the orb of thy bounty, and graciously aid me in ministering at thy holy threshold. Make my heart overflow with the love for thy creatures, and grant that I may become the sign of thy mercy, the token of thy grace, the promoter of concord among thy loved ones, devoted unto thee, uttering thy commemoration, and forgetful of self, but ever mindful of what is thine. O God, my God, stay not from me the gentle gales of thy pardon and grace, and deprive me not of the wellsprings of thine aid and favour. Neath the shade of thy protecting wings, let me nestle, cast upon me the glance of thine all-protecting eye. Loose my tongue to laud thy name amidst thy people, that my voice may be raised in great assemblies, and from my lips may stream the flood of thy praise. Thou art, in all truth, the gracious, the glorified, the mighty, the omnipotent.
O thou cherished fruit of the heart, give ear to the melodies of this mystic bird, warbling in the loftiest heights of heaven. The Lord hath, in truth, inspired me to proclaim, verily, verily I am God, He besides whom there is none other God. He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. O my servants, seek ye earnestly this highest reward, as I have indeed created for the remembrance of God gardens which remain inscrutable to anyone save myself, and naught therein hath been made lawful unto anyone except those whose lives have been sacrificed in his path. Hence, beseech ye God, the most exalted, that he may grant you this meritorious reward. And he is in truth the Most High, the Most Great. Had it been our wish, we would have brought all men into one fold round our remembrance. Yet they will not cease to differ, unless God accomplish what he willeth through the power of truth.
Glory be to thee, O God. Thou art the God who hath existed before all things, who will exist after all things, and will last beyond all things. Thou art the God who knoweth all things and is supreme over all things. Thou art the God who dealeth mercifully with all things, who judgeth between all things, and whose vision embraceth all things. Thou art God, my Lord. Thou art aware of my position. Thou dost witness my inner and outer being. Grant thy forgiveness unto me and unto the believers who responded to thy call. Be thou my sufficing helper against the mischief of whosoever may desire to inflict sorrow upon me or wish me ill. Verily thou art the Lord of all created things. Thou dost suffice everyone, while no one can be self-sufficient without thee.
Do thou bless, O Lord my God, the primal point through whom the point of creation hath been made to revolve in both the visible and invisible worlds, whom thou hast designated as the one whereunto should return whatsoever man return unto thee, and as the revealer of whatsoever may be manifested by thee. Do thou also bless such of his letters as have not turned away from thee, who have been firmly established in thy love, and clung steadfastly to thy good pleasure. Bless thou likewise, as long as thine own self endureth, and thine own essence dost last, them that have suffered martyrdom in thy path. Thou art verily the ever-forgiving, the most merciful.
I am the primal point, from which have been generated all created things. I am the countenance of God, whose splendor can never be obscured, the light of God, whose radiance can never fade.
Yo soy el punto primordial, el punto primordial, el punto primordial, el punto del que será originado todas las cosas creadas, todas las cosas creadas. Soy el semblante de Dios, el semblante de Dios, el semblante de Dios, cuyo esplendor no muere nunca, no muere nunca, nunca será oscurecido. La luz de Dios, cuyo brillo no puede jamás apagarse. Yo soy el punto primordial, el punto primordial, el punto primordial, el punto del que serán originado todas las cosas creadas, todas las cosas creadas. El punto del que serán originado todas las cosas creadas, todas las cosas creadas.
In the name of thy Lord, the Creator, the Sovereign, the all-sufficing, the most exalted, he whose help is implored by all men. Say, O my God, O thou who art the maker of the heavens and of the earth, O Lord of the kingdom, thou well knowest the secrets of my heart, while thy being is inscrutable to all save thyself. Thou seest whatsoever is of me, while no one else can do this save thee. Vouchsafe unto me through thy grace what will enable me to dispense with all except thee, and destine for me that which will make me independent of everyone else besides thee. Grant that I may reap the benefit of my life in this world and in the next. Open to my face the portals of thy grace, and graciously confer upon me thy tender mercy and bestowals. O thou who art the Lord of grace abounding, let thy celestial aid surround those who love thee, and bestow upon us the gifts and bounties thou dost possess. Be thou sufficient unto us of all things. Forgive our sins and have mercy upon us. Thou art our Lord and the Lord of all created things. No one else do we invoke but thee, and not do we beseech but thy favors. Thou art the Lord of bounty and grace, invincible in thy power, and the most skillful in thy designs. No God is there but thee, the all-possessing, the most exalted. Confer thy blessings, O my Lord, upon the messengers, the holy ones, and the righteous. Verily, thou art God, the peerless, the all-compelling.
Verily, the one true God beareth me witness, that in this day I am the true mystic fane of God, and the essence of all good. He who doeth good unto me, it is as if he doeth good unto God, his angels, and the entire company of his loved ones. He who doeth evil unto me, it is as if he doeth evil unto God and his chosen ones. Nay, too exalted is the station of God and his loved ones for any person's good or evil deed to reach their holy threshold. Whatever reacheth me is ordained to reach me, and that which hath come unto me, to him who giveth will it revert. By the one in whose hand is my soul, he hath cast no one but himself into prison. For assuredly, whatsoever God hath decreed for me shall come to pass, and naught else save that which God hath ordained for us shall ever touch us. Woe betide him from whose hands floweth evil, and blessed the man from whose hands floweth good. Unto no one do I take my plaint save to God, for he is the best of judges. Every state of adversity or bliss is from him alone, and he is the all-powerful, the almighty. In brief, I hold within my grasp whatsoever any man might wish of the good of this world and of the next. Were I to remove the veil, all would recognize me as their best beloved, and no one would deny me. Let not this assertion astound your majesty, inasmuch as a true believer in the unity of God, who keepeth his eyes directed towards him alone, will regard aught else but him as utter nothingness. I swear by God, I seek no earthly goods from thee, be it as much as a mustard seed. Indeed, to possess anything of this world or of the next would, in my estimation, be tantamount to open blasphemy.
the praise which hath drawn from thy most august self, and the glory which hath shone forth from thy most effulgent beauty rest upon thee, O thou who art the manifestation of grandeur, and the King of eternity, and the Lord of all who are in heaven and on earth. I testify that through thee the sovereignty of God and his dominion, and the majesty of God and his grandeur were revealed, and the day stars of ancient splendor have shed their radiance in the heaven of thine irrevocable decree. And the beauty of the unseen hath shone forth above the horizon of creation. I testify moreover that with but a movement of thy pen, thine injunction, "Be thou," hath been enforced, and God's hidden secret hath been divulged, and all created things have been called into being, and all the revelations have been sent down. I bear witness, moreover, that through thy beauty the beauty of the adored one hath been unveiled, and through thy face the face of the desired one hath shone forth, and that through a word from thee thou hast decided between all created things, causing them who are devoted to thee to ascend unto the summit of glory, and the infidels to fall into the lowest abyss. I bear witness that he who hath known thee hath known God, and he who hath attained unto thy presence hath attained unto the presence of God. Great, therefore, is the blessedness of him who hath believed in thee and in thy signs, and hath humbled himself before thy sovereignty, and hath been honoured with meeting thee, and hath attained the good pleasure of thy will, and hath circled around thee, and stood before thy throne. Woe betide him that hath transgressed against thee, and hath denied thee, and repudiated thy signs, and gainsaid thy sovereignty, and risen up against thee, and waxed proud before thy face, and hath disputed thy testimonies, and fled from thy rule and thy dominion, and been numbered with the infidels whose names hath been inscribed by the fingers of thy behest upon thy holy tablets. Waft then unto me, O my God, and my beloved, from the right hand of thy mercy and thy loving kindness, the holy breaths of thy favours, that they may draw me away from myself and from the world unto the courts of thy nearness and thy presence. Potent art thou to do what pleaseth thee. Thou truly hast been supreme over all things. The remembrance of God and his praise, and the glory of God and his splendour rest upon thee, O thou who art his beauty. I bear witness that the eye of creation hath never gazed upon one wronged like thee. Thou wast immersed all the days of thy life beneath an ocean of tribulations. At one time thou wast in chains and fetters. At another thou wast threatened by the swords of thine enemies. Yet, despite all this, thou didst enjoin upon all men to observe what has been prescribed unto thee by him who is the all-knowing, the all-wise. May my spirit be a sacrifice for the wrongs thou didst suffer, and my soul be a ransom for the adversities thou didst sustain. I beseech God
by thee and by them, whose faces have been illumined with the splendours of the light of thy countenance, and who, for love of thee, have observed all whereunto they were bidden, to remove the veils that have come in between thee and thy creatures, and to supply me with the good of this world and of the world to come. Thou art in truth the mighty, the most exalted, the all-glorious, the ever-forgiving, the most compassionate. Bless thou, O Lord my God, the divine lote tree and its leaves, and its boughs and its branches, and its stems and its offshoots, as long as thy most excellent titles will endure, and thy most august attributes will last. Protect it then from the mischief of the aggressor and the hosts of tyranny. Thou art in truth the Almighty, the most powerful. Bless thou also, O Lord my God, thy servants and thy handmaidens, who have attained unto thee. Thou truly art the all-bountiful, whose grace is infinite. No God is there save thee, the ever-forgiving, the most generous.